We're live.
Okay, Sergeants, will you begin your recordings? Cloud recording is up.
Backup is rolling.
Okay, Sergeant Kolowski, you may.
Good morning, and welcome to today's remote New York City Council hearing of the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections. At this time, would Council staff please turn on their video? Please place electronic devices on vibrate or silent. Thank you. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections. My name is Karen Koslowitz and I am chair of this committee. Before we begin this hearing, I would like to introduce the council members of this committee who have joined us today. Speaker Corey Johnson, who will be joining us. Minority Leader Stephen Matteo, Councilmember Adrian Adams, Councilmember Margaret Chin, Councilmember Keith Powers, Councilmember Debbie Rose, Councilmember Mark Traeger, and Councilmember Vallone. I would also like to acknowledge Rules Committee Counsel Lance Polivi and the staff members of the Council's Investigative Unit, Chuck Davis, Chief Compliance Officer, and investigators Andre Johnson Brown and Alicia Vassell, Desiree Robinson, and Ramses Booten. Today, the Rules Committee will consider certain changes to the membership and chairmanships of the standing committees of the Council, and a rule change to add a rule concerning collective bargaining. Pursuant to Rule 10.20 of the Rules of the City Council, the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections can recommend an amendment to any rule of the Council with the later vote of the majority of all Council members. Today, we are hearing two pre-considered resolutions to amend the rules of the Council. The first excuse me, my allergies are very bad today. The first pre-considered resolution would amend Rule 7.00A by changing the membership and chairmanships of certain standing committees of the Council. This rule change requires a majority vote of all members of the Rules Committee and a majority vote of all Council members. The changes proposed in the first pre-considered resolution are aging, Councilmember Dinowitz, Civil Service and Labor, Councilmember Drum is coming off, and Councilmember Dinowitz is going to be on Civil Service and Labor. Consumer Affairs and Business Licensing, Councilmember Dinowitz. Education, Eric Ulrich and Mark Levine are being removed and being replaced by Councilmember Dinowitz and Councilmember Feliz. Environmental Protection, Jim Gennaro will be the chair. Finance, Feliz will go on to Finance. Fire and Emergency Management, Mark Levine will be added. General Welfare, Feliz will be added to that committee. Health, Feliz. Immigration, Feliz will be added to those. Health, Disabilities, and Addiction will be Dinowitz. Oversight and Investigation, Dinowitz. Parks and Recreation, Dinowitz. Public Housing, Feliz. Sanitation and Solid Waste Management, Feliz. Small Business, Dinowitz. State and federal legislation, Ulrich. And Youth Services, Feliz. The second pre-considered resolution will add a new council rule pursuant to Council Rule 10.20. This proposed rule concerns collective bargaining. If passed by a majority of the members of the Rules Committee and the later majority vote of all council members, this rule will take effect immediately. The proposed new rule would state 2.90 collective bargaining. All collective bargaining matters, including recognition, negotiations, administration, and enforcement of collective bargaining, agreements and/or other agreements the council may reach with unions or employee organizations representing council employees shall be within the jurisdiction of the speaker. Do any members have questions? Are there any hands up?
No, Chair Kozlowitz, there are not any hands up.
Okay. I will now call upon the clerk to take the vote on all items from today's hearing.
Good morning, William Martin, Committee Clerk, roll call vote, Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections. 2 pre-considered resolutions. The items are coupled. Chair Kozlowitz.
I vote aye.
Chin.
I vote aye.
Rose.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Vallone.
Aye on all.
Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Powers.
We're gonna
I
hold
vote
the
aye,
vote.
sorry.
Thank you. Mattio.
No on 1608, yes on 1609.
Okay. Pre-considered resolution pertaining to rule amendment. Collective bargaining has been adopted by the committee, 6 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, no abstentions. And pre-considered resolution in relation to changes in standing committees has been adopted by the committee, 7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions. Thank you.
We will hold this meeting open. Thank you, everyone.
Madam Chair, Mr. Clerk, have we voted yet?
Now,
Yes.
Speaker Corey Johnson.
I vote aye.
Thank you. One moment.
Councilmember Traeger should be joining.
Okay.
Welcome, Councilmember Traeger.
Vote aye.
Thank you, sir. One moment. Okay, final vote for today's Committee on Rules. Pre-considered resolution in relation to rules of the council, collective bargaining has been adopted by the committee, 8 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and no abstentions. And pre-considered resolution in relation to committee membership changes has been adopted by the committee, 9 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions. Thank you.
Okay. This meeting is now adjourned.